Today in current and electricity and magnetism, that lesson we have started last lecture. So today we will see the electric cell. A source is required to produce a uniform flow of charges in circuit. What they told you, a source is required. A source is required to produce a uniform flow of charges. Means there is one source needed. For example, if you want the light, then we need sun, we need bulb, okay. Otherwise we need the candle. So if we want the light, that time what we have to need, we need the what, source. So what they told you, the for same way the source is required to produce uniform flow of charges in a circuit. If circuit is there, just now we seen it here, in this structure we seen that here is, this is the source of the light, this is the source of energy, and because of it what happens, electricity flow. And in this circuit there is a no source, only bulb, and the circuit is there, so here electricity is not producing. But in this figure, in this circuit, what happens when we are joining battery in a circuit, then what happens, electricity is produces. So what is the sentence they so told you here, such a source is required. So in above figure, which is the source, the battery is the source, because of it what happens, a uniform flow of charges in circuit what happens, takes place. Such a general device is called as an electrical cell. Such a cell is called as a electric cell. Various types of electric cells are available today. Okay, Duracell is there, otherwise so many companies are there, they are working in this field. These are used in a range of machines for wrist watches to submarines. Wrist watches also have working on the what, cells, okay. And submarines are inside also what happens, see that they are using the what, electrical cell. Out of this you must be aware the solar cell. Solar cell also we knows, okay. Nowadays in many places on the way, what happens, the solar cells are using, and due to it what happens, electricity is produces. The main function of various electric cell is to maintain a constant potential difference between two terminals, okay. What I told you, the main function, what is the main function of this electric cell? To maintain the constant potential difference. Potential difference, if you see here in this above figure, you will notice that here one side positive written and one side negative written. What is the reason of plus and minus? Here potential, here the at this point potential, plus means higher potential is here, and here the lower potential is there, okay. And due to this difference in the potential, what happens, the current flows from what, higher potential to the lower potential. And for flowing of electricity, this only thing is there, it is very important and it is required, and that thing is the potential difference, okay. Now potential difference between two terminals. So above we seen that there is a negative terminal and one side there is a positive terminal, okay. And because of this potential difference, what happens, electricity flow in the circuit. The electrical cell work on electric charges. The electric cell is there, it is work on electric charges to maintain constant potential difference, about which of we learn later. Let us learn about the electric cell that currently used. Means that to maintain this potential difference, if potential difference is there, then only what I said to, the flow of electricity is possible, otherwise it is impossible. About which of you learn, from whatever we learn, now we will see the structure of electric cell, and then we will continue the lecture.
Electric cell. When you enter in a dark room, you use a torch for light. Do you know that electricity to the bulb in a torch is provided by the electric cell? Have you ever carefully looked at an electric cell? Let us understand the construction of an electric cell. Electric cell is cylindrical in shape, having chemicals stored inside it. It has two terminals that are positive and negative. The positive terminal is metal cap and negative terminal is the metal disc. Chemical reaction occurs inside the cell to generate electricity. In electrical cell, electricity is produced by the positive and negative charges. There is something that you need to be careful about, that is, never ever connect both terminal of cell with a wire. Do you know what will happen? It leads to the use of chemical inside the cell, and that will result in the flow of current. This eventually reduces the life of the cell. You know who was the first person to develop an electric cell? Alessandro Volta was the person who developed electric cell in 1800th century.
Now we saw what is electric current, electric cell. Next point is the dry cell, and the dry cells are used in a as you know that where we are using the dry cells, it is using in the cameras, it is using in the clocks inside, torch inside, we are using this what dry cells. So here what they provide us information, the dry cells are used in our radio set, wall clock, torches. They are available in 3 4 sizes. Small size is there and it is bigger size is also there. The construction of dry cell is as shown in the figure 4.2. This is the construction of dry cell. Okay, before looking this construction, we will see one video, then we will understand better way whatever is the how is the constructed this
dry cell. A cell is the simplest unit for making electricity. It generates electricity from chemical reactions. It pumps electrons along wires. Two or more cells form a battery. Substances such as acids dissolve in water to form charged particles, namely positive ions or cations and negative ions or anions. These types of solutions form the electrolyte of a cell. Metal rods immersed in electrolytes act as electrodes. The positive electrode is the anode and the negative electrode is the cathode. These electrodes attract oppositely charged ions, resulting in flow of electrons.
If you see here, the negative particles are there, they are attracted towards this anode, and positive particles are there, they are attracted towards this positively charged, attracted towards the cathode. Okay.
A French engineer, Georges Leclanche, in 1866 invented the battery that bears his name. Leclanche's invention, which was quite heavy and prone to breakage, was steadily improved over the years. In slightly modified form, the Leclanche battery, now called a dry cell, is produced in great quantities and is widely used in devices such as flashlights and portable radios. But it was Carl Gassner of Mainz who is credited with constructing the first commercially successful dry cell, zinc carbon cell, in the year 1881. Variations followed. By 1889, there were at least 6 well-known dry batteries in circulation. The dry cell is a modification of the wet Leclanche cell. The parts of a dry cell may be understood by observing the vertically cut section of the cell. The anode is a graphite rod. Graphite is a form of carbon. The zinc container is the cathode. The electrolyte is a moist, jelly-like paste of ammonium chloride and starch enclosed in the metal cylinder as shown here. A mixture of manganese dioxide and powdered carbon surrounds the graphite rod. The jelly is prevented from drying up by sealing the top of the cell with pitch or asphalt. A cardboard washer is used to prevent the graphite rod from coming in contact with the zinc can. This is referred to as the spacer. The zinc can is surrounded by an insulating thick paper covering. The positive terminal of the cell is a brass knob at the top, while the negative terminal is at the base. the chemical reactions that takes place inside the cell are quite complex. The simplified reactions are given here. At the zinc cathode, zinc metal is oxidized to positively charged zinc ions, releasing 2 electrons. These electrons are collected by the graphite anode. The reduction reaction at the graphite anode is represented here. This flow of electrons produces electric current. This dry cell produces a voltage of about 1.5 volts. Button cells and nickel-cadmium cells are better versions of the dry cell. Mercury-zinc button cells are used in watches, cameras, calculators, and hearing aids. The anode is the zinc powder and the cathode is mercuric oxide.
Now you saw the structure of dry cell. Now we will discuss the structure. If you have the dry cell, means any cell which is not working, just you open it and see the structure simultaneously. Take a lead dry cell and remove its outer coating. Now what we will do, we have to remove its outer coating. Inside you will find a whitish metal layer. Okay, whitish metal layer, and this is the zinc metal layer. Okay, this is a zinc cover shown in the picture here. Okay, and it is zinc layer. This is zinc metal layer, and this is the negative terminal of the cell. This zinc cover is there, it is negative terminal of the cell. Now carefully break open the layer. Now we have to remove this covering very carefully, that zinc covering. Now carefully break open this layer. There is another layer inside. One more layer is there inside this zinc layer. Okay, and electrolyte is filled between these two layers, and in between this zinc layer and one more covering is there inside. Inside it, what happens, in between them the electrolyte is filled inside it. What is they are filling? Electrolyte in between the zinc cover and inside cover. This filled between these two layers. The electrolyte contains negatively charged and positively charged ions. Okay, this electrolyte is there inside it. What happened, just now we seen that negatively charged and the positively charged particles we saw in the video. Okay, now the electrolyte is wet pulp of, what is that electrolyte? It is wet. It is wet, and pulp. Pulp means how mango pulp is there inside it, inside the mango. In that way, pulp means wet. It is there, some liquid or gel-like structure, and it is the zinc chloride. Zinc chloride, Zn for zinc, Cl for chloride, and ammonium chloride, NH4 for ammonia, and Cl for the chloride. There is a graphite rod in the center. Means, as you know that it's zinc cover, and inside one more covering is there inside it, this electrolyte. If you see here, this is yellow color band is there. This is zinc cover, and one more it is structure is there. This is the in between these two layer, brown color one layer is there, and that is a electrolyte. And electrolyte is nothing but what? Zinc chloride plus what? NH4 Cl. Okay, NH4 Cl. So zinc chloride is nothing but NH4, and it is a mixture of what I told you. It is a mixture of zinc chloride, ZnCl2. Okay, and it is the mixture of zinc chloride plus ammonium chloride, that is NH4Cl. Okay, it is filled here. This gray layer is there, no? That gray layer is the electrolyte. Now the next, there is a graphite rod in the center. This is the graphite rod. Okay, this is a graphite rod in the center, and graphite rod, it is present in the center. What they told you, this is the positive terminal of the cell. This is the positive. If you see here upside, then this is the positive terminal as shown here above. Okay, so this is the positive terminal. Then, as I told you, if there is a positive and negative terminal, why these positive and negative terminals are there? Two what to create potential difference. So here it is positive terminal. Next, what is given here? First I told you the zinc cover is there, and zinc covers inside one more covering is there, and in between these two electrolyte is present. This gray color line is there. It is the nothing but that electrolyte. Then there is this graphite rod is working as a positive terminal. This positive terminal, okay, the paste of magnesium chloride is filled outside this rod. This is the space. This rod is there, and outside this rod, what is there? The what mixture is present, and that mixture is the nothing but it is the MnO2, manganese dichloride. So here at this place what is present? MnO2, okay, is filled outside the rod, and carbon is mixed. Carbon powder is also mixed inside it. Because of chemical reaction of these chemicals, which chemicals? Electrolyte inside, ammonium chloride and zinc chloride is there, okay, NH4Cl and zinc chloride, that is ZnCl2, and here MnO2. In between these chemicals, the chemical reaction takes place, okay. And what happens? The chemical reaction of all these chemical, electric charge is produced. Due to the chemical reaction, what happens? The electric charge is produced, and that electric charge on two terminals, what happens? Graphite rod and the zinc layer. Downside also what happens? There is a zinc layer, and that is the negative terminal. The electric current flows, and due to this chemical reaction, what happens? The electric current is produced, and that is it start flowing because of the potential difference. Now, due to the wet pulp used in the cell, which wet pulp we used here? Upside, that is zinc chloride, ZnCl2, and zinc chloride, and zinc chloride and ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. This is the NH4Cl. This mixture is in the form of wet pulp. The chemical reaction produced very slowly due to this wet. This is wet, and that's why the reaction is takes place very slowly. Hence, the large electric current cannot be obtained from this. So, because of the structure, wet structure is there, we are not getting the large amount of electric current. Compared to the electric cell using liquid, the shelf life of the dry cell is longer. Okay, then electric cell, as compared to electric cell, dry cell's lifespan is more. Dry cells are very convenient to use. We can carry it anywhere, okay, and it is convenient to use. This can be held any direction. We can hold it any possible direction. Means if it is liquid, then if we hold it in upward direction, if we change its position, the liquids move and it will affect the working of the cell. So these dry cells are there, its use is very easy. Respect to ground and can used as a mobile instrument. Mobile instrument means we can carry it anywhere. That is about the which dry cell. Now we will see the lead acid cell. This is the structure of lead acid cell. Lead acid cell. This is here in the picture they shown you the lead acid cell. Depicts the design of lead acid cell. Let us examine its principle. Okay, so its principle also we have to see, and video also we will see. In it we will understand it better way, how is its structure and how is its construction. So these type of cells can be recharged after getting electric discharge. What they told you, these types of cells are there. What they told you, the main thing is that they are recharged, means we can recharge and again use it. Dry cell, once you use it, what happens? Nowadays the some means reusable as cells are there, dry cell, but in olden days once we are using the dry cell we have to throw it. Okay, so use and throw thing is it. So a recharge getting electric discharge. The lead acid cell contains a lead electron and a lead oxide electron. If you see, this is a lead electron, Pb for lead, Pb for lead, and here lead that red color it is there, PbO2, it is lead dioxide. So this is lead and this is lead dioxide. The lead acid cell contains a lead electrode and the lead dioxide electrode. Means these two are in above figure. How carbon is the electrode here? Okay, one positive electrode is here, the carbon is there, this is the carbon, and in this figure inside what happens, there is a lead acid cell inside lead and the lead dioxide are the two electrodes. Okay, if you see here signs, it is positive electrode means, and it is negative electrode means lead dioxide is the positive electrode and lead is the negative electrode. Now here the lead acid contains a lead electron and lead oxide electrode, and both are deep in the dilute solution of what? Sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid, that is the H2SO4. It is called as a sulfuric acid. This is working as an electron. In last means dry cell inside, how the NH4 ammonium chloride and the zinc chloride, they are working as a electrolyte. In this lead acid cell, H2SO4 is there. It is working as a electrolyte. The potential difference PbO2 carries positive charge. Okay, means lead dioxide, it carries positive charge here, while Pb electrode carries negative charge. This lead is there, it carries negative charge. The potential difference between these two is nearly 2 volt. How much is the potential difference between them? 2 volt. Because of chemical reaction in the substances in the cell, means which is substances are here, that is lead oxide is there, lead is there, and H2SO4 is there. Because of these chemicals, what happens? The reaction takes place, and 2 volt, this much potential difference is difference, and potential difference produces electricity generated. Because of chemical reaction in the substances in the cell, electric charge is produced on both the electrodes. What happens? Because of this, what happens? Chemical reaction, the electric charge is developed and the electric current flows through the load or the example bulb in the circuit. And due to this, what happens? When the chemical reaction takes place, the potential difference of 2 volt produces V for voltmeter, and due to this, what happens? Electric bulb glows inside it. Okay, then now we will see the video which shows the exact structure of this lead acid cell for better understanding. Now here is the structure of lead acid cell.
Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Physics and Animation. Today we will talk about the following topics. Number 1, what is lead acid battery? Number 2, constructional detail of lead acid cell. Number 3, chemical action during discharging of a lead acid cell. And number 4, chemical action during charging of a lead acid cell. So let's start. What is lead acid battery? The battery which uses spun lead and lead peroxide for the conversion of chemical energy into electrical power. Such type of battery is called a lead acid battery.
Okay, you see this definition, what they told you? The battery which is sponge, lead and lead peroxide, which conversion of what is doing it? Chemical energy, means chemicals which are present in the cell. What happens? These chemicals are there. What happens? They convert the chemical energy is converted into electrical power. Such a type of battery is called as a lead acid battery. Okay.
The lead acid battery is most commonly used in the power stations and substations because it has higher cell voltage and lower cost. Constructional detail of lead acid cell. The most common parts of any type of batteries are: number 1, positive plate, number 2, negative plate, and number 3, electrolyte. Positive plate of a lead acid battery is made of a lead peroxide, PbO2, having chocolate brown color. Negative plate of a lead acid battery is made of a spongy lead, Pb, having dull grey color. The electrolyte used in the lead acid battery is a solution of sulfuric acid and distilled water in the ratio of 38% of sulfuric acid and 62% of distilled water by weight. Now let's move forward and talk about the working and the chemical reaction taking place in the lead acid cell. Chemical action during discharging of a lead acid cell. A load is connected externally between these plates. In diluted sulfuric acid, the molecules of acid splits into positive hydrogen ion and negative sulfate ion. The hydrogen atom moves to the lead peroxide plate and reaching the lead peroxide plate receives one electron from the lead peroxide plate and become hydrogen atom. The hydrogen atom comes in contact with the lead peroxide, so it again attacks lead peroxide and forms lead oxide and water. And then this lead oxide reacts with the sulfuric acid, which forms whitish lead sulfate and water. Each sulfate ion moves toward the lead plate and reaching there gives up 2 electrons and becomes radical sulfate. As the radical sulfate cannot exist alone, it attacks the metallic lead and forms lead sulfate, whitish in color. As positive hydrogen ion takes electron from lead peroxide plate and negative sulfate ion gives electron to lead plate, there would be an inequality of electron between these plates. Hence there would be a flow of current through the external load between these plates for balancing this inequality of electrons. Or we can say that the potential difference is created between these plates. Chemical action during charging of a lead acid cell. For charging, the anode and cathode are connected to the positive and the negative terminal of the DC supply. The molecules of the sulfuric acid breaks up into hydrogen and sulfate ion. The hydrogen ions being positively charged moves toward the electrode connected with the negative terminal of the DC supply, and each hydrogen ion receive electron from there and form a hydrogen atom. The hydrogen atom react with the lead sulfate of cathode, forming lead and sulfuric acid. Now, negative sulfate ion moves toward the electrode connected to the positive terminal of the DC supply, where they will give up their extra electrons and become radical sulfate. This radical sulfate reacts with the lead sulfate of anode and forms lead peroxide and sulfuric acid.
Now we saw the structure of lead acid cell, and we new thing we learned now which is not there in our book, and that thing is that how the recharge means once it's used, how rechargeable we here use it is a rechargeable battery, and how it is recharged or how we can reuse it again. Okay, now this kind of electric cells have the capacity to deliver large current. Okay, this kind of electric currents are the cells are there. They have just now we seen also they have the large capacity to hold potential difference is there. Hence lead acid cells are used in car, trucks, motorcycle and uninterrupted power units. That also means UPS is there. No, our computers have UPS inside it also. These types of cells we are using. Okay, so this is the very important cell that we are using it again by recharging it. We are using it again. Okay, so here it can be recharged. So this is very important because we can recharge and we use it again. We are not going to use and throw this. Okay, so what you know that if your vehicle has a batteries, what your father is there, he is doing after some time, what happens, he just recharge or he is changing the acid from it, and he is bringing from that repair is. Okay, so that is about the lead acid cell and the dry cell. So today we saw the structure of electric cell, dry cell and the lead acid cell, and for better understanding we saw the videos also of it. Now tomorrow we will see the next part of our lesson, and today we will stop here only because and you just all of you read this part of and understand the structure. Watching the video, understand the structure of dry cell, and in exam most of the exam is main one dry cell, otherwise this lead acid cells figure is coming for the exam for drawing, and it carries the 3 or 4 marks for it. So do the practice of this both the cell, draw this and send me on my personal number. Okay, and with this what we have to do, some students they are not sending me the last 2-3 lessons exercise, so all of you just complete it and then send me on my personal number. So today we will stop here only. Okay, thank you.